Backstage at the World Transformed with the one and only Ken Loach. We've got to be brief because Jeremy Corbyn's on soon, and I know you don't want to miss it, right? How many times have you seen him though?
Well, I've known him over quite a long period. I mean, when he was backbencher, we did a screening of a film in his constituency, and it was nice, and he always struck me as a very genuine, friendly, authentic person, really, of serious principles.
And you've been making important movies on the left for decades. How many times have you come to Labour Party conferences? Is this a regular thing for you?
No, I came last year, and I came once or twice in the 80s. We did a documentary about Labour and Tory conferences in when Tebbit said, "Get on your bike." We were there for that one, and it was just very interesting. It's just social events. The two are very different, as you'd imagine, and very and reveal a lot, about the attitude of Tories to each other and to organisation is culturally very different, and we've got something to learn from them. Not very much, but there's a bit.
Will you be there next week?
No, I won't be there. I'm too old for it now.
I've got a bigger question, which is that I think the left is feeling very confident here because we feel like for once we're almost winning politics. We're not in government yet, but we're getting there. Is the left winning culture?
Well, it depends how we define culture. I think amongst the cultural events and things that we read, like the people who come to this meeting and the people who are here, yes, of course, where it's expressing what we feel. The dominant culture of the mass media, television, or broadcasting, that's as hostile as ever. I was listening to the political programme this morning on Radio 5 Live with John Pienaar, and he referred to Jeremy Corbyn as someone who was seen as a figure of fun, as a backbencher. Now, he wasn't a figure of fun. He was a man who stood on principle and who spoke very clearly with a radical analysis. He's only a figure of fun to people like Pienaar and his BBC pals. They're figures of fun to us. But you don't want like the national broadcaster be just talking in those terms. So no, we haven't won that cultural battle at all. And I think we won't until we're in government. And when we're in government, then we have to make certain we're in power, because they're not the same. And we're talking about transforming the world. We've got to start with the BBC and the press.
What's your top three reforms for the BBC and the press? What are we going to do to them?
Well, change the ownership. I mean, I think to have a license to run a national newspaper, or any newspaper, it should be a collective, owned collectively by the journalists and the printers or administrators. Should be a collective. So there's no press barons and no ownership of the mass media, because there should be a democratic forum and run by people who care about music and drama and documentaries and the craft and the content. The idea that it's dominated by either state appointees or by billionaires is completely anti-democratic.
And speaking of the craft and the content, have you got any other movies on the way?
No, we've done a little intro for John McDonnell on tomorrow, actually. But so I've got to go and check that tomorrow morning. So I don't know. Well, I don't know if there'll be another one. I mean, it's a tough course to get around, when you're old. But anyway, we'll see.
Well, you've already provided a lot of cinematic content for the left. We're all very proud of you.
Oh well, that's kind of.
Thank you so much for your time. Enjoy the rest of your evening. Enjoy the Jeremy Corbyn speech.
Yes. All the best to Navarro too. to trap a few right wingers in.
Yeah, we'll try to get them.
Yeah.
How do they? Obviously you're welcome with open arms. Everyone celebrates you here. Do you ever come across people from the other side of the Labour Party? How do they react?
No, I was kind of. I wasn't part. I was never part of that. What was it? Cool Britannia and all that. When Blair schmoozed the the pop stars and that. No, I was never invited to those gigs, really. But I'll tell you a guy, if you ever get the chance to talk to him, is worth talking to, is John Pilger, who made his art was to get right-wingers on and then scalp them. And you'd be good at that. So it's worth, if you're ever in a situation where he's near, worth having a chat to him and talking about how the art of trapping right-wing politicians in interviews.
So that's two people that will always be welcome on Novara Media. John Pilger and anyone who sits slightly to the right of us so we can have a nice Barney.
You have to trap them. You have to wear a tie, and a suit and pretend to be like them, you see. This is the snag, you see.
That's where I always fall down. I'm giving off the wrong signals. You're looking very smart, Ken.
Well, yes, don't look too closely. But, anyway, it's a very bad light. So. Oh, nice to see you.
Yeah, you too, mate.
Yeah.
Good evening.